Good morning, friends. It is about 6:45, the morning of the birthday girl's birthday, May 21st. I am about to go get her up and take her to the zoo. It is supposed to be really hot today, so I got up a little early so I could make sure that I was getting all the sunblock and everything that we're supposed to be taking with us together because I didn't have time last night. But yeah. I just finished getting dressed and throwing a tiny bit of makeup on. It's super hot out, so I wasn't able to do too much, or didn't really try to do too much, I guess I should say. But I'm about to go get her up and head to the zoo. It's about an hour-and-a-half drive, and they open at 9. We haven't been there in a while, so this could be pretty interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to vlog while we're there, or I know Disney's kind of weird about the selfie sticks and stuff. I'm not sure about the zoo. I know there's a shadow right now, I'm sure, from my microphone, but it's like, it's not fully daytime out right now, so like the lighting is awful. And this is the only room that has like somewhat decent lighting in it when it's super dark out. But yeah, Disney's weird, kind of weird about, I can't talk, blah, blah. Kind of weird about the selfie sticks and gimbals and stuff like that. They do allow gimbals, but they're kind of weird. Like, they check it out, and when you're walking with it, they'll like stop you and inspect it sometimes. So I don't know how the zoo is. We haven't been, like I said, in a couple of years. But I'm gonna go get her up and get her loaded up and get there, and then we'll see you again once we're there. Well, that's a lot more than 4.
That's all right. That's a 2. That's a 2. That's a 1. We'll go that way. That's a 3. We'll keep that. That's a 1. We'll go that way. And then this is a 3. All right. Got some good numbers in here. So we got 3, and then 6. Ooh, 8. And then 10. You know what that means? You get a large prize.
Aww.
So, you can either choose a tiger, or we have an elephant, or we have a giraffe.
Love the elephant.
You like the elephant?
Yeah.
I had a feeling that's what you were gonna pick.
Here you go, sweetheart. And then I'll take my net. Thank you. You want to help me put my Crocs away?
You put them back?
Good
job.
2, 3, and 4. And high five. You picked some good numbers there. Good job, sweetheart. Oh, you got a green one.
Good
Amber.
job, babe.
Now you want to try to get a blue or an orange?
That's okay. Keep going. You got a bucket full of
Oh,
balls.
yes, you do.
Seriously? Come on.
That's
How
okay.
did I get what and not?
That's okay.
The fact you made one in on your first try.
Right? Especially a colored one, nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. Most people can't even get one in, so I'm impressed.
I would be able to.
That's okay. We'll do a review on that one. Here you go.
Say thank you. It's okay. Keep going. You're doing good, babe.
Another green one.
Good job.
Oh, that's all right. That's a review. Here you go.
It's okay. There you go.
That's all. You did a great job, sweetheart.
You did.
You got a green one. That's the biggest color you got. Small one. Have a hippo, a pig, or a giraffe.
Do you want a hippo, a pig, or a giraffe?
I think the cutest one is this one.
Is a pig.
Yeah, that is a cute.
Good job.
Whenever you're ready, sweetheart.
keep going.
I think the cutest ones are the animals.
Yeah. Well, we didn't win one of those, baby.
That's okay. You know what? It's their birthday.
Aw.
Little animals. Yeah.
You're so sweet. Say thank you.
They're still little.
Yeah.
So we got a little raccoon here. I'm not sure what this one is. I think it's like a badger or something. This one's definitely a hamster. And then you have like a guinea pig, we have a cow, and then we have a pig right here. Oh, and we also have sloth looking.
There's a sloth.
I think this one is that's a hamster.
Which one you want, baby?
I think the cutest one is the panda.
The panda?
This guy right here.
What do you say?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles as long as I'm with you. Yeah, you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. Talking by yourself and you make me smile. I can listen all night long. I tell you about the time when I first met you, listening to our favorite song. Walking on the street when you caught my eyes, something about the way you move. No, there ain't nobody like, there ain't nobody like. So lucky to be yours. And you're taking me high. Ain't nobody like you. I'm not coming down. Ain't nobody like you. I could go 1,000 miles.
On our right-hand side, we're passing by some potus monkeys, which are those light orange monkeys you'll find throughout this habitat beside us. They are the fastest runners of all the primate species, reaching top speeds of over 30 miles per hour, which has earned them the nickname of the greyhounds of the savannah. And speaking of the savannah, we're entering a savanna grassland environment now as we enter our first open air habitat. And over on our right-hand side, we have a couple of different savanna friends to look for. Those very large birds there with the beautiful bald heads are called marabou storks. They are the largest of all the stork species out there, but they do behave a little bit more like vultures than the typical baby-delivering storks that most people think of. They feed on leftovers from larger predators out there in the savannah, which also makes them a really important cleanup crew within that ecosystem. Having that bald head helps to keep them a little bit cleaner in that process. The large tan antelope standing just beside them is called a greater kudu. And greater kudu are one of the tallest of all the savanna antelope species. They can stand up to about 6 feet tall, but despite their large size, they blend in really well with their environment out there. That light brown coloration of their fur with those thin white stripes along their sides gives them excellent camouflage for the dry, tall savanna grasses. As we roll on forward through our second gate, you'll start to see a lot more trees and plant life around us as we're entering a little bit more of a forest environment. The animals in this environment are going to start to look a little bit different as they're a little bit more adapted to that forest lifestyle. Over on our left-hand side, you'll find a couple of a little bit more festive-looking birds here. Those are called gray-crowned cranes. Their flashier coloration isn't quite so much for camouflage as it is for impressing boyfriends and girlfriends out there. And as we round this bend, if you look out into the distance on the right-hand side, lying down along the fence line there, is an eastern bongo, the largest of the forest-dwelling antelope species. But be sure to also look over on the left-hand side, just between those rocks and logs in the very center, you might be able to spot a very small antelope lying down for a nap there as well. And that one is called a bay diker. Despite being very small and very adorable, that's not a baby of that species, that's a full-grown adult. Their small size is actually a pretty useful adaptation for them as well. You can possibly catch another glimpse of them from the other side of these rocks here on our left-hand side as well. That small size allows them not only to find those little hiding places throughout their habitat, but also to dive very quickly into the underbrush to escape from any predators out there, which is where they get their name from. That word diker loosely translates to diver in the language of Afrikaans. We can also get another look at those gray-crowned cranes in the distance on our left-hand side again. In addition to that fancy coloration, they can also use some pretty fancy dance moves to impress their mates as well. Looking animal described that everyone was just making them up. You can see one for yourself though, right through those leaves over on our left-hand side. And despite those zebra party pants that they seem to be wearing, they're actually only closely related to the giraffe. If you look closely at his face, you might see some small fur-covered horns called ossicotes, which is one of the features that they share with those giraffe cousins of theirs. As we are rolling forward, we're now leaving the rainforest and the bushlands are opening up around us. And over to our left-hand side here, you can also be on the lookout for some African painted dogs. It looks like our pack is lying down for a nap in the shade together on the other side of that habitat, just past those palm trees there. Our pack does include a litter of 7 puppies. And 7 might sound like a lot, but African painted dogs have been known to give birth to up to 20 puppies per litter. Though thankfully their entire pack pitches in to help take care of those pups together, so it's not all up to mom and dad. Is our white rhino barn. You might be able to spot one of our white rhinos enjoying some time in the shade of that building at the moment. That's our adult male. White rhinos are typically the most social of all 5 rhino species, but the males will still tend to spend a little bit more time satellite to the rest of the herd. And you'll see that all of our females are kind of hanging out together as a small herd. A herd of rhinos is called a crash, which is a pretty fitting name for a group of rhinos. They do have very poor eyesight, so they will occasionally crash into things by mistake out there. Sharing this habitat with our white rhinos, you'll also find our Grevy's zebras, which are the largest of all the zebra species. And no two zebras look completely alike. If you look long and hard enough at each of those stripe patterns, you'd see that they're each just as unique as each of our fingerprints. Scientists have also discovered that zebra stripes provide them with some natural insect repellent, because a lot of biting flies don't like to land on those black and white surfaces. We're also passing by a mom and calf pair of white rhinos. That youngest member of our crash there is about 8 months old, but he already weighs roughly 800 pounds or more, and he's going to continue to gain about 100 pounds a month within his first year or so of life.
Goodness.
But we're entering elephant country now, and on both our right and left hand sides you'll find the largest of all the land mammals. These are our African bush elephants. On the right hand side there you'll find our male or bull African elephant. And one of the ways we can tell that he's a male is that he is hanging out in his own space, kind of his own bachelor pad at the moment. The males do tend to lead a much more solitary lifestyle, whereas the females, like you'll see up ahead on our left hand side, will stick together as a matriarchal herd. That means that moms and their calves, like the 5 and 6 year olds that we have among our herd over there, will all stick together, led by the oldest and wisest grandmother elephant among them. Back over to our left-hand side, you'll find another forest-dwelling antelope species. Those are called lowland nyala. The lighter orange ones with those prominent white stripes are the females of the species, although there are a couple of babies among them as well. And if those are baby boys, once they reach about 1.5 years old, they'll start to get that much darker, shaggier fur just like their dad there, and grow those long, beautiful horns on their head. The males and females do look quite a bit different from each other, which is an example of something called dimorphism. You'll also find a few more of those marabou storks. One of them is showing off their great big wingspan for you right out there in the middle. Their wingspan can be up to about 10 to 11 feet wide, which is part of what makes them the largest of all the stork species. And you might also spot some large black birds with red faces out there as well. Those are called southern ground hornbills. Last but not least, we're going to jump on over to a small chain of islands off the coast of Africa called the Seychelles, where we'll find some not so small tortoises right over to our left. These are the Aldabra tortoises, which are the second largest tortoise species in the world. Males can weigh up to about 400 to 500 pounds on average. They're still only the second largest tortoise species in the world, because the largest of them all is the Galapagos tortoise, found on the Galapagos Islands off the coast of South America. Their males can average closer to 500 to 600 pounds.